Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Technical Study Buddy. In this video I'm gonna show you top 10 military forces in the world. So let's start. Everyone wants to know who's carrying the biggest stick, while everyone has their own measurement for how to judge the size of a nation's military. These militaries are easily some of the best equipment and trained in the modern world. Number 10. United Kingdom. The United Kingdom has one of the world's newest aircraft carriers, the HMS Queen Elizabeth. It also has nearly 900 aircraft and an active duty military of over 150,000 people. But it has a small overall navy for an island nation at 76 total ships, and its total armored vehicles, counting its 250 tanks, in just a hair over 6,000. Number 9. Germany. With almost 700 aircraft and over 6,000 armed vehicles as well as 180,000 well-trained active troops, Germany is well positioned for a defensive war. Why only defensive? Because it lacks most significant power projection platform like carriers and has few troop platforms and submarines. Number 8. Italy. Italy has two smaller aircraft carriers, lots of helicopters and almost 250,000 active troops, allowing it to push significant force around the world. Those service members are equipped with over 800 aircraft and 7,000 armed vehicles. Unfortunately, a shortage of tanks, about 200, and ships less than 150 for a peninsular nation hurts its ranking. Number 7. France. The France military has 204,000 active military personnel and 183 in reserve. Those are relatively small numbers, but its force are equipped with capable equipment produced by a homegrown defense industry. Think of the Mirage fighter and the Mistral class amphibious assault ship. It's released more heavily than most unarmored fighting vehicles as opposed to tank with almost 7,000 of the former and just over 400 of the latter. The nuclear powered Charles de Gaulle is the only non-American nuclear carrier in the world. Its Foreign Legion is one of the most famous combat forces in the world. Number 6. Korea. With over 6,24,000 troops, 2,381 tanks and 1,412 aircrafts ready to go, South Korea is anything but weak. It also boasts over 5 million reserve service members. Most of its equipment is on the newer side and some of it is homegrown. But it's important to remember why Korea keeps so much firepower and hand. Its most likely enemy is North Korea, which has one of the largest artillery stockpiles in the world stacked within range of the South Korea capital. And while the huge North Korea military is too broadly equipped, trained and prepared to make this list. Number 5. Japan. Japan maintains a self-defense force that is very capable on both offense and defense. With the fourth largest submarine force and 4 small aircraft carriers, often called helicopter carriers, as well as homegrown tanks and aircraft and imported weapons like US Apache. Japan has a varied and capable collection of military hardware. Still, the country suffers from a significant size issue. It has less than 1,600 aircraft, 4,000 armored vehicles, and only about 130 ships. All of that is manned by a little over 3 lakh troops. Number 4. India has a large number of troops, but those are largely reserve personnel. It boasts a large number of armed vehicles at over 11,000 but has a relatively small air force and navy and relies on more prosperous allies for much of its defense development. But some of those joint ventures are paying off while India's Sukhoi planes purchased from Russia have repeatedly ran into problems, but the country is also working with Russia to perfect a fifth generation fighter. Number 3. China. China has the world's largest population at 1.4 billion and its largest military population at 3.7 million, with 2.2 million of those being active troops. Those millions of men and women are equipped with almost 3,000 aircraft, 13,000 armored vehicles and 714 ships. But China struggles with modernization and organization problems as decades of power struggles between the army and navy hollowed out section of the force, but with increased military spending that puts it behind only the US. It's quickly closing the technological and equipment gaps. Number 2. Russia. When it comes to countries punching above their weight, it's hard to find an example better than Russia. Despite a relatively small economy, it manufactures a large amount of military hardware and is the second largest exporter in the world after the US. This allows it to field about 3,800 planes, 5,600 armored vehicles including tanks and 282 warships. Number United States. If you were surprised, you should not be. The US spends the most on its military both per capita and total. Its navy has the longest and most aircraft carriers in the world, with 11 full-size carriers and 8 helicopter carriers in service. Its air force files the longest and most technologically advanced air fleet in the world, which is just a little longer than the US Navy air fleet. Meanwhile, the US Army and Marine Corps event the longer of their respective groups worldwide. So these are the 10 most powerful military forces. I hope this video is interesting for you. Subscribe our channel and press the bell icon given below. That's why you will update it in the next video. Thanks for watching.